And welcome back to the Factor Uncensored. June is Pride Month, and of course, we would be remiss without bringing some people from the community on to tell us about the agenda for this year, what we can expect in the month of June, and also the battles that they face in 2021. We know, guys, for the LGBTQ community legislatively, it's been quite a year, an attack mainly on those who may be transgender. Austin Ruiz, let's begin with you. First of all, Pride Month, what does it mean?
Well, I think it's a celebration of our culture and our history, right? We can look back at a long history of fighting for equal rights. And really, Pride is a celebration of that fight, but also a recommitment to that, to the work that still has yet to be done. As you pointed out, there were a number of anti-trans bills that were introduced this year, over 100 in 33 states across the country. So we still have a long way to go, a lot of work that has yet to be done to ensure that our community is protected and has equal rights like everybody else.
And Mike Webb, you have been very involved politically. When you see so many legislatures around the country target the transgender community, not allowing transgender girls to play sports, taking away the option of health care. Your thoughts on that and why that is a focus now in 2021?
Absolutely. So one, I just want to say that the Republican or the far right movement has broken records when it comes to anti-trans legislation across the country. They filed and passed more anti-trans bills than ever before in the history of our country. And that's because, for two reasons, primarily, Isaiah. Reason number one, they know it's going to fire up their base. They know that they can be more competitive in elections that are coming up because they had a beating in the last couple of years, and they want to get their people motivated. But also, unfortunately, the sad reality is they know that some Democrats, quite frankly, are not going to care too much. So it's not going to fire up our base.
Really?
Yeah, some Democrats, absolutely. We've had several who I would assume are Democrats on this very show who are not excited about trans inclusivity when it comes to our sports, particularly when it comes to our youth. And that's what people have to understand. They're not even bothering to attack LGBTQ adults at this point. They're attacking vulnerable children who just want to learn and who just want to live normal lives like every other youth out there. And there's so many beautiful parents, and that's why Pride Month is necessary. That's why we're excited for it this month. It's a space and it's a time that we celebrate people for just being who they are, who they love, without any stigma and without any shame.
And Austin, that's an important point that Mike is making, that they are targeting young people. How damaging could that be to an adolescent who is, still trying to find themselves, but then find they're under attack by state lawmakers?
Right. Well, it's extremely damaging. I mean, we see that there are higher rates of mental illness, of suicide with LGBTQ youth because they experience discrimination in school from their peers, they experience harassment, bullying, violence. And then to have state legislatures try and pass laws that prohibit them from enjoying all the things that they just want: school, education, their friends, building a community, sports, other intramurals. It really is so damaging to a class of vulnerable people that are already so damaged because of the way that society is treating them and targeting them simply for their gender identity or their sexual orientation. So it's immensely disappointing. It's also just immensely a disservice, really, to all of the trans youth out there across the country, to prevent them from being able to enjoy all the good that life has to offer.
Now, the best advice from our guests is what you can do to help for Pride Month and that community be more inclusive and accepting. And of course, there's a list of events at Houston Pride. Just check it out.